The beauty of college football is that anything can happen any season. We see teams and players come out of nowhere and shock us all. Another beauty is making a bold prediction that comes true, or making a bold prediction that ends up completely wrong. This is part 3 of reading hot takes from comments on my YouTube videos. Before we get to today's video, make sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. If you're watching this video, odds are that you love college football, and odds are you aren't subscribed to my channel. So make sure to subscribe to one of the best college football communities here on YouTube. I'm posting college football videos all off season, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, make sure to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. If you have a scorching hot take and bold prediction for the 2023 college football season, leave a comment down below and it could be featured in my next video. We'll kick things off with what I thought is one of the better ones we've had in these first couple of videos. In honor of the 10th anniversary of the college football playoff, the final 4 teams are the same as the first 4: Alabama, Ohio State, Oregon, and Florida State. Personally, I think this would be awesome. I think this would be really cool if it is the exact same 4 teams that we got a decade ago when we got the first ever college football playoff. Now, when looking at these 4 teams, the crazy thing is I could see all 4 of these teams reach in the playoff, but I also wouldn't be surprised to not see any of these teams this upcoming season. When looking at these 4, I think Ohio State probably has the best chance of being one of the playoff teams. After that, I honestly think it's a toss-up for any of the 3 other teams. Like seriously, these 4 teams could all finish inside the top 10 this year, but I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of them aren't even in the top 15. Here we go, we got another Bo Nix one. Bo Nix wins the Heisman next year, passing for 5,000 yards and 46 touchdowns with 5 interceptions, while rushing for another 734 yards and 8 touchdowns as Oregon goes 11-1 and sneaks into the college football playoff. I like how specific this Bo Nix one is, how specific you were with the stats, and honestly, I don't even think these numbers are enough. I think Bo Nix is going to top these numbers en route to his Heisman in 2023. We have another Bo Nix question. Bo Nix is the greatest college football season in history and goes on to not only win the Heisman, but gets drafted first overall. Yeah, Josh, I think you're seeing into the future with this one because this is exactly what's going to happen for the greatest college football player we've ever seen. After a terrible loss to Furman and a 5-interception game by Spencer Rattler, he is replaced the next week by LaNorris Sellers, who becomes a freshman phenom and leads South Carolina to an SEC East title and a New Year's 6 bowl berth. Man, what a roller coaster this hot take went on. You go from Spencer Rattler pretty much having the worst game of his career against Furman, no less, and South Carolina actually loses to Furman, but they go on to win out, I'm assuming, play in the SEC title game and play in a New Year's 6 bowl game. Yeah, I think this is a really fun one. And speaking of this hot take and the Bo Nix one and the first one we talked about in this video, the more creative you guys get with your hot takes, the higher chances are I'm going to read them in a future video. Each video so far has gotten about 100+ comments, and a lot of them are pretty much the same as other ones, so if you have a hot take that you want to be read in a video, throw some creativity into it, like these first couple, and you'll definitely get featured in a future video. Oklahoma will have a complete turnaround with a full offseason with Brent Veach as head coach. The defense will be top 10 in the country, while the offense will be at least top 10, if not top 5. Yeah, that's quite the prediction, saying that Oklahoma is going to be top 10 essentially in both categories. I definitely think Oklahoma is going to be better than they were last season. I don't know if they're necessarily going to be a top 10 team just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if there may be a top 15 to 20 team at any point this upcoming year. Devin Leary wins the Heisman and leads Kentucky to an 11-1 SEC championship game appearance. Yeah, I recently talked about Devin Leary in my transfer video from the other day, and I talked about it pretty much last season. I had him as a Heisman dark horse. Obviously, that didn't go too well considering he got injured, missed half the season, but I think Devin Leary is going to have a fantastic season at Kentucky this year. The Wildcats going 11-1, making it to the SEC title game. Hey, stranger things have happened. Jalen Milroe wins the quarterback job and leads Alabama to a national championship appearance. Alabama's going to be an interesting team this upcoming season. I can't remember what video it was recently when I talked about them, but personally, I think this is going to be the worst Alabama team we've seen in recent memory. And when I say the worst Alabama team we've seen in recent memory, I mean like maybe finishing the season outside of the top 10, something like that, maybe losing 3 games at the absolute most. So yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what happens with them this year. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with their quarterback battle. I don't think Jalen Milroe is going to win the job, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up as their starting quarterback because the talent, I think, is certainly there. Texas runs the table in the Big 12, led by a breakout season for Quinn Ewers, and ends the season on a college football playoff appearance. Texas is another fascinating team entering this upcoming season because I could honestly see them being an 11-win team, but I wouldn't be surprised if they're an 8-win team as well. I'm also really looking forward to seeing the year Quinn Ewers has because last season was kind of disappointing. I think a lot of us were expecting him to have a much better campaign. Still had some really solid performances, but overall for the season was kind of disappointing. So I'm excited to see if he's able to turn things around and maybe have a Heisman caliber kind of campaign. This is the year that Clemson chooses violence. They lose to Florida State in the regular season and get them again in the ACC championship, taking Florida State, whom I legit think will only lose to LSU otherwise, spot in the college football playoff with a win and a 12-1 record. I just love how this one starts off. This is the year that Clemson chooses violence. Yeah, I think it's going to be a battle between Florida State and Clemson for that ACC title. It's going to be a really fun matchup whenever we see them play. So yeah, let's go with this one. Coastal Carolina upsets UCLA in week 1, wins the Sun Belt, and makes a New Year's 6 bowl game, finishing off Grayson McCall's historic career. Yeah, Coastal Carolina, they've been a really solid program these last couple of seasons, and Grayson McCall, he's back for another year as their quarterback. I believe he was expected to transfer somewhere this offseason. I can't remember off the top of my head. Maybe it was Auburn, and then I think there was like an academic issue and he ended up back at Coastal Carolina. So that's going to be a fun game. Week 1, Coastal Carolina goes to the Rose Bowl, and again, I think the Chanticleers are going to be a really good team this upcoming season, especially in the Sun Belt. Okay, now we're talking. We got some Arizona State hot takes finally. Arizona State finishes 3rd in the Pac-12 South and wins their bowl game. Well, the beauty is the Pac-12 no longer has divisions, which is the way conferences should be played. Last season, ASU finished 10th in the conference, so I know divisions are gone, so let's just say how you had them finishing 3rd in the Pac-12 South. Let's just say they finished 6th overall in the Pac-12. I will gladly take that, and I will especially take them winning their bowl game. Man, you guys are coming with the Arizona State hot takes, and I absolutely love it. Spoiler for those listening, you probably can tell. If you throw any sort of Arizona State hot take on here, I am most likely gonna read it and talk about it. Arizona State wins the Pac-12 and wins the Rose Bowl after their first 10-win season since 2014. So I just answered an Arizona State question, being pretty content with them finishing 6th in the conference. If ASU somehow wins the Pac-12, goes to the Rose Bowl, wins the Rose Bowl, yeah, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do to celebrate, but it is going to be a very good season for me. We're going to wrap up today's video with this one that actually could be the hottest take I've seen in these first 3 videos. UConn at some point during the season will sneak into the rankings. Obviously, UConn has been one of the worst teams in college football over the last couple of seasons. Last year, they were actually surprisingly pretty good. They actually won 6 games, but looking at the recent history, 1 win, 2 wins, 1 win, 3 wins, 3 wins, 6 wins, 2 wins, 3 wins, 5 wins. The Huskies haven't cracked the top 25 since 2010, when they actually were in the Fiesta Bowl. So it's been 13 seasons since we've seen UConn crack the top 25. Let's do it. Let's say UConn cracks the top 25. They're ranked at some point this year. I'm buying the UConn hype. Well, that wraps it up for part 3 of this bold predictions and hot take series. Again, if you have a scorching hot take and a bold prediction for the 2023 college football season, leave a comment down below and it could be featured in my next video. Before you leave, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and turn on those notifications if you're new to my channel. I'm posting college football videos all off season, so make sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Also, don't forget to drop a like on this video as well. It helps out with that YouTube algorithm and helps share the video with more college football fans. Plus, it only takes a second to do. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.